Ready? All right. Meeting will come to order. Minute early, but that's okay. There are agendas located on the table outside of the meeting room. This is a public meeting for which public notice has been provided. Proceedings are being broadcast and recorded and can be viewed online at the City of Casper's YouTube channel. First, I'd like to read some informational statements about the meeting. Use of cellular telephones is not permitted, and such telephones shall be turned off or otherwise silenced during the Planning and Zoning meeting. When speaking to the Planning and Zoning Commission, please clearly state your name and address. Keep your remarks pertinent to the issue being considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do not repeat the same statements that were made by a previous speaker. Speak to the Planning and Zoning Commission as you would like to be spoken to. Do not address applicants or other audience members directly. Make your comments at the podium and directed to the chairperson of the Planning and Zoning Commission. I'd like to remind everybody present that the City of Casper Planning and Zoning Commission is a volunteer body composed of members of the Casper community appointed by the Casper City Council. The Commission acts as a quasi-judicial panel, making final decisions on some items and recommendations to the City Council on others as dictated by law. The Commission may only consider evidence about any case as it relates to existing law. Commission cannot make or change planning or zoning laws, regulations, policies, or guidelines. We have 5 of us tonight. We're missing 2, Andrew and Ann. The next item on the agenda is consideration of the minutes from Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held May 9th. Are there any additions or corrections?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Okay,
From the last meeting.
we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion? Nope. Being no further discussion, we will now vote. Are there any abstentions or nay votes? All voting aye, please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, the motion carries.
Next on the agenda will be the scheduled public hearings. Before we get started, just a reminder to all of this evening's applicants that it takes 4 affirmative votes to pass any item regardless of the number of commissioners present. If any applicants would like to postpone their case in anticipation of the possibility of more commissioners being present next month, then I would ask you to speak up when your case is announced. First public hearing tonight will be for consideration of case ZOC 618-2024 concerning a request for a zone change of 837 East C Street, Lot 24, Block 98, Casper Edition, from M1 Limited Industrial to C3 Central Business. The applicants are Jeb and Gail Filkins. Are the applicants or their representatives present, and do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Can we please get a staff's report?
Absolutely. The owners of the property located at 837 East C Street have applied for a zone change from M1 to C3. Property is currently being used as a childcare center, and the reason for the zone change is because the applicants would like to close the childcare center and transition the building into a residential use. The existing M1 limited industrial zoning of the property doesn't allow residential uses unless a conditional use permit has been issued, and only in cases when the residential use is necessary for security reasons. Proposed C3 zoning allows residential uses by right. Land uses in the area are a mix of commercial, industrial, and residential. Section 1712-170 of the municipal code provides guidance on zone change requests and requires that staff provide a report to the commission as to the request conformance with the comprehensive land use plan. The future land use plan is an illustrative map within the comprehensive plan that identifies the physical distribution of land uses and forms the basis for future zoning and land use regulations. The future land use map identifies the subject property as being within the area of Casper designated as urban center. Comprehensive land use plan describes the primary uses within the urban center as retail, employment, entertainment, civic, and residential uses in an urbanized pedestrian-oriented environment. Further, this neighborhood has been identified as the next redevelopment area, preliminarily being referred to as the Makers District. The future development of this area will be akin to the city's efforts in the current redevelopment area known as the Old Yellowstone District, and is proposed to be a mixed-use area for artists, artisans, and fabricators to live and work. Surrounding zoning in the area is a mix of M1 and C3. The previous comprehensive plan from 2000 also recognized this area as being part of the urban core and recommended that C3 zoning be extended from downtown eastward. The city has focused its redevelopment efforts on the old Yellowstone district and has not yet had the opportunity to do a large-scale rezoning of this area. However, as property owners have come forward over the last 20 years or so, individual parcels have been rezoned to C3 in recognition of a long-term plan for the area. Mr. Chairman, there were no public comments on this case, and I have 5 exhibits. A is the application for a zone change. B, public notice sent to property owners. C, legal notice sent to the Star Tribune. D, a photo of the public notice sign on the property. And E, memo to the chairperson and members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Alrighty. Thank you for the report, and exhibits are noted. Anybody on the commission have any preliminary questions for the staff?
Mr. Chairman, Trey, you did say there was nobody protested or anything.
Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Nope. Alrighty. Next, I would ask that the applicant and or their authorized representative come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and explain your application to the commission.
My name is Gail Filkins and I live at 837 East C Street. And that is also the, where my childcare has been located for the last 13 years. We were issued the conditional use of the apartment for security purposes 13 years ago. And so we've lived in the building for 13 years, but now that we're retiring, I don't want to continue forward with the daycare center, which then would put the apartment in peril. So we decided that we would try to do a zoning change so that we were able to continue living where we are and then use the first floor of the apartment, maybe put another apartment in at a later date. So, but the outside of the building, the structure of the building won't change. It would remain looking the same as it does. So that's what we're hoping for.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Gail?
Ma'am, I don't have, just a comment. When I was a kid, that building was moved to the present location that used to be the old convent for the nuns at St. Anthony's School.
Yes.
Oh, you knew that?
Well, and I've kind of really struggled with this because the placard on the front of the building has been removed. And the Catholic Church, we've tried to find, in fact, the college is working with us to try to figure out where that building was at, because the Catholic Church, it's been so long ago that they don't really have.
Well, I remember it. It can't be that long.
He's old.
In fact, when we bought the building, it's really kind of cool. I don't want to do anything really to the second floor now, but you go up the stairwell and there were 8 little tiny bedrooms down the inside of the thing. Each one had its own bed and its own little sink, and it was an amazing building. We took a lot of pictures of it. Upstairs now, we did take all the walls out for those little rooms, and it's just one great big room for the daycare center. But it is a historical building. We would love to know the history of it, because even the assessor's office, I mean, we've been trying to get information on it for a long time. It was built in 1910, so it's going to be one of the first buildings built in Casper. So we love the building. And
Yeah,
I don't
you know
want
what,
to change the way it looks.
It was sitting right next to the old school, which is now a parking lot. That's where it was. I think I was 4 years old, so I just barely remember it.
1910, you were 4?
I didn't know if you knew that.
No, but I might call you if you have some other information. Like I said, Casper College is working, their group is working to try to come up with some of the history of the building and stuff. But it was a shame that the placard was taken off of it.
Yeah.
You can see where it was, but they removed the placard off the front of it. So, yeah, but it's kind of a really cool building.
That
A
is
lot of
cool.
history.
Just a little bit of history.
Love history.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else have anything? All right. Now it's time when we ask for members of the audience to come forward in either support or in opposition to this case. Please remember to state your name and address clearly into the microphone for the record. Is there anybody wishing to speak in opposition or in support? All right. Seeing nobody wishing to speak in either support or opposition in this case, the chair hereby closes the public comment portion of the public hearing and calls for a motion to approve, deny, table or postpone to a date certain, ZOC 618-2024. Anybody?
I move for approval of
And I'll second it.
Got a motion,
the
second?
VOC 618-2024 to change the zoning from M1 to C3.
All right. I have a
Second.
motion and a second. There any discussion? All right.
Well, Mr. Chairman, with all the other industrial businesses around that area, I don't think there's any problem.
Yeah, I think it's fit in
Yeah.
perfect, especially we're looking to make some changes in that area like we did the OYD, so that's fantastic. Being no further discussion, we'll vote. Is there anybody abstaining or any nay votes? All voting aye. Please record the vote.
All members voting aye, the motion carries.
All right. Your application for zone change has been approved. So would staff please advise the applicant of their next steps?
In about a month, it'll have to go before city council. We'll be in touch to let you know when that is. It'll be a public hearing on the first reading and then it'll go to 2 additional readings.
Okay, great, thank you.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Just a quick footnote on that. You say you're trying to turn that area around. And I'm noticing from when we got there 13, 14 years ago till now, a lot of people are really trying to give their buildings a facelift. The one right across the street from us, I think he put $500,000 into fixing his building up, and it just really,
It's
we
changed.
changed that area and there's been a lot of cameras added and a lot less.
Yeah.
It used to get a little, western at night.
Yeah.
It's not that way.
Right.
When I remember,
Good way
it
to
was
put it.
an old yellow house before they bricked it up. It was a yellow house with a lot of black habit nuns running around.
All right. Thank you, folks. The second public hearing tonight will be for consideration of case SP 6192024 concerning a site plan application for the development of the Luther Classical College. I'm excited about this one. The applicant is Luther Classical College. Is the applicant or the representative present? Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
There you are. Okay. Can we please get staff's report at this time?
Sure. Site plan application has been submitted for the proposed Luther Classical College located generally west of the Journey Elementary School near the intersection of Hickory Street and West 24th. The site encompasses approximately 12.3 acres and is zoned ED Educational District. Campus consists of a library building, 3 classroom buildings, and 10 dormitories. The applicant plans to construct the campus in phases, with the initial phase consisting of 2 dormitories and 1 educational building. All buildings are proposed to be 2 stories in height. The total building footprint of all structures is 41,318 square feet. Therefore, the Planning and Zoning Commission has final review authority. The subject property will be accessed via 2 public streets, Hickory Street located east of the property and which is already constructed, and West 24th Street located on the north side of the property, which is partially constructed. The applicants have initiated a traffic study. However, the study will not be completed for approximately another 4 to 6 weeks. Public transit service is available nearby with a stop located approximately 1/3 of a mile walking distance to the north in the vicinity of Kit Carson and CY Avenue. For Appendix B of Title 17, a minimum of 8% of the site must be landscaped, and the site plan notes that approximately 25% has been provided. Although a conceptual landscaping plan has been provided, which is up on your screen right now, a detailed landscaping has not yet been submitted. Therefore, a condition of approval has been added to address this requirement. Section 1712.080 of the municipal code requires a minimum of 111 parking spaces based on the 0.37 parking spaces per the total number of students. The site plan shows that 166 spaces are being provided, including 11 ADA spaces. The site plan notes that all exterior lighting on the site will be full cutoff shielded fixtures to prevent off-site glare and light trespass. With regard to drainage, the topography of the property slopes downward to the north toward West 24th Street, and stormwater runoff will flow toward 24th Street and toward the existing drainage on the west side of the property. Multiple stormwater detention areas are being suggested, totaling approximately 10,000 square feet in area. The formal drainage study is currently under review by the engineering division. An engineered water and sewer analysis will also be needed prior to development of the site. And on-site sewer lines will be privately owned, and on-site water lines will be public. The applicant will be required to provide easements for the public water lines prior to development. Mr. Chairman, I have 3 recommended conditions. I'll go ahead and read those into the record. One is prior to the approval of the site plan and execution of the site plan agreement, the applicant shall obtain the city's approval of a traffic study, a drainage study, a water and sewer study, and a detailed landscaping plan. Second, West 24th Street shall be fully constructed by the applicant according to city standards prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for any structures. And third, prior to any development taking place, the applicant shall apply for a permit to construct public improvements with the engineering division, and all necessary easements shall be provided to the city in an acceptable form. We received 1 public comment, which was actually more of a question. I believe you guys saw that in your packet, and I believe that person's been satisfied. And I have 5 exhibits to enter into the record. A is the site plan application. B, public notice. C, legal notice sent to the Star Tribune. D, a photo of the public notice sign on the property. And E, memo to the chairperson and members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. That's the report, sir.
All righty. Thank you for the report. Exhibits are noted. Anybody on the commission have any preliminary questions for staff about the report? Nope. Good looking building, sir.
It's nice.
Looking good. Yeah. All right. Next, I would ask that the applicant and or their authorized representative come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and explain your application to the commission.
Evening. My name is Dr. Harold Rist. I'm the president of Luther Classical College. So we're building this school. I'm also assistant pastor at Mount Hope Lutheran School and Church. And here's our rep from
ECS, Brian Chandler,
okay, Brian Chandler from
civil design.
So so it's been a plan of the church to build a college, classical college. We have a degree program that actually has been coupled with Casper College. So we've got a relationship with them already in place. Be great for the community. We had our groundbreaking. Some of you might have seen that or even been present. I don't know. I think it's on YouTube. But anyway, last Monday or Tuesday, and we had representatives from the college and also Commissioner David North and some other different VIPs come for that event. So you can see how that went down. So
Cool. All righty.
Sir, may I, Mr. Chairman?
Sir.
Are you planning on building right away? I'm just, doesn't,
well, it's going to be in phases. So
I know, but the first phase.
The first, right. So in July, we're hoping to do the grading for the entire site. And then after that, come September, we're planning on, if you see on the map there, one of our first buildings is a dormitory. So we're hoping to have at least 1 dorm for 16 students ready for our opening, which is going to be September of 2025. So about 15 months from now. So we hope to have at least 1 building up, but depending on fundraising and so forth, we might get 2 or 3 up this year. So anyway, it'll be several years before the whole site's completed. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
All right. You understand and agree to the recommended conditions in the staff report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Righty. Thank you. Any other commissioners have any questions for him?
You had one person write a letter about access. Did you guys work that out with him?
Easement question. Well, the difficulty with this gentleman, it's been worked out as to my understanding to both satisfaction. We had one of our staff, our buildings and grounds share, call him up. He seemed to be satisfied with tabling that discussion for a while, but his 1 acre piece of land is already landlocked. It's actually landlocked by the city. So the building of our compound changes nothing. So that was conveyed to him. But he's asked if we provide easement, we provide that, but at his expense, if he desires it, but it's just 1 little useless piece of land on the side of the hill. Or he said, you know, could sell it to us for 4,500 or something. And that's something we need to explore, but at this point, we're not seeing that as a really realistic. So, but to my understanding, he's satisfied with that verbal phone call that he received from one of our staff. But yeah, we're gonna pursue that and make sure everything's smooth.
Alrighty, good.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
It was not clear to me where that piece of land was.
It's located. Everyone, can you point that out?
It's actually behind the legend here. It's kind of,
There's the other map.
Johnny Appleseed in that vicinity.
I think just
no, it's to the east. Yeah. It's generally, if Hickory Street were extended to the south, it would, that would have fronted it on this area.
Okay, so it's in
Oh,
that, I just was wondering the general area where
Yeah.
that
Okay.
property was.
So it's already landlocked, if you can see from the.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
We don't foresee a problem.
All right. Any questions? Thank you. Appreciate
It'd be
it.
a nice addition to the community.
Yeah.
Well, we hope so.
We appreciate your investment.
You know, I think that you'll have some more human traffic here in the next few years.
Yes. Now it's time when we ask for members of the audience to come forward and either support or in opposition. Is there anybody wishing to speak in support or opposition? Seeing nobody, then the chair hereby closes the public comment portion of the public hearing and calls for motion to approve with conditions, deny, table, or postpone to date certain, case SB 619-2024. Anybody?
Mr. Chairman, are you ready for a motion?
Yep.
Okay, I guess, hello,
Motion to
I
approve with
want to make
conditions.
a motion, we approve SB 619-2024
With conditions.
with the conditions, the 3 conditions.
Okay. We have a motion to approve with conditions. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Nope. All right, fantastic. Being no further discussion, we'll now vote. Are there anybody abstaining or nay votes? Okay, all those voting aye, please record the vote.
All members voting aye, the motion carries.
All right. Your application for zone change has been approved. Would staff please advise the applicant of the next steps?
This is the end, so we'll have some paperwork for you to sign here in the next week or so, and that paperwork will be good for 3 years. Doesn't go to city council? Nope, not this one, just.
Nope.
It would have to be over 43,000 square feet of building area in the city council.
So, fantastic. Looking forward to seeing it when it's getting built.
And the owners might have to wait a while.
Right? Trying, I'm not old, I'll be around. Okay.
You might see 1 or 2 dorms.
Right.
Be a while before you see 10.
All right, chair calls for communications from the commission. Anybody have anything? No, gonna be a boring
Don't be in
bunch
such a
tonight.
hurry, maybe, let me think. I can think.
Okay. Chair calls for communications from community development director or the city planner. You got anything for us
Nothing tonight, sir.
tonight? All righty. Council liaison is not with us. How about our historic preservation commission? That would be me. This week we got to go tour the Masonic Temple. That is a really cool historic building.
I've been in the.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's we got to see where it used to be the one room used to be a dance floor, and then they put a false ceiling in, but it had a mezzanine above it where the band sat and played, and city would come and dance on there. So
You know, at one time, the wall, it's one wall between the Townsend Justice
Mhm.
Building and the Masonic Temple.
Yeah.
It was one wall.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
yeah, it was a neat building. So we have 2 workshops at Fort Casper on July 12th, one at 10 a.m. and one at 2 p.m. So they'll be on the Historic Preservation Facebook page with the info and the QR codes for a survey. So how about communications from Old Yellowstone District Liaison. You want to talk about last month and then I'll talk about this one?
Mr. Chairman, I didn't make it last month, but the month before, we had cleanup of Casper, which was very, very successful. And we had quite a few people showing up for that. And then, of course, we planted flowers in the flower beds and plants
Made the city pretty again.
and people had mud on their hands.
Terry actually worked.
Very interesting. Yes,
All right.
we did.
Good man.
So I'm sorry I missed the last one, but
The last one, Carol from the city talked about the open container rules and then we just went over, other stuff. So wasn't a whole lot that went on.
Craig was at that planning.
Yep.
And
Got my
cleanup.
hands dirty for once.
All right. Any, other communications from anybody else present? Alice, anything from you today? Nothing today? Wow. All right. Well, Nick, you might get to CNFR in time.
Yeah.
One night.
So, final item on the agenda this evening is adjournment. Next meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission is currently scheduled for Thursday, July 11th. I will be absent for that one. I will be in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So you get to take over for me.
Yeah.
There being no further business to conduct, chair calls for motion to adjourn. So moved by Commissioner Wingeter, seconded by. All right. We have a second and a first. Anybody want to abstain or say no? I'll vote. Please count the vote.
With all members voting aye, the motion carried.
All right, meeting adjourned, 6:24 PM.